The French General Assembly election results for the first round are in, and let's face it, for the second time within a month, it's bad news for the French president, Emmanuel Macron. But bear in mind that these are not the presidential elections, but rather the parliamentary ones, meaning that Macron will stay as president until 2027 as planned. But before we dive into the results, let's quickly explore how the elections in France actually work and why there are 2 rounds with 2 different dates. France uses a system called the 2-round system, with candidates divided based on their constituencies. In the first round, on June the 30th, citizens voted for the candidates and their respective parties within their constituencies. There are 2 possible outcomes in the first round. Either a single candidate receives 50% or more of the votes, or none of the candidates reaches this threshold. If a candidate receives 50% or more, they automatically become a member of the National Assembly, a result known as an absolute majority vote. In this case, there will be no second round. If no candidate achieves 50%, which is way more common, a second round is held on July the 7th. This is where the top candidates face off. To qualify for the second round, candidates need at least 12.5% of the eligible voter share in their constituency. In the second round, people vote again, and the winner wins the constituency and secures a seat in the parliament. The example on the screen shows 3 parties in the runoff, but it is way more common to see only 2. There are 577 constituencies, meaning 577 seats. Thus, 289 seats are required for a majority. So what do the first round results look like? In terms of percentages, in 4th place with 7% of the vote, we have the Republicans, who stand for traditional conservative values, emphasizing economic liberalism, reduced government intervention, and strong national security policies. In 3rd place, with 21% of the vote, we have Macron's centrist ensemble, who stand for pro-European Union policies, economic reforms aimed at boosting competitiveness and innovation, and a progressive social agenda that includes environmental sustainability. In 2nd place, with 28% of the vote, we have the left-wing New Popular Front, also called NFP. The NFP is a broad left-wing alliance created as the successor of the New Ecological and Social People's Union. It is composed of various smaller socialist, communist, and green parties. The NFP stands for social justice, environmental sustainability, increased social welfare programs, and reduced economic inequality. And in 1st place, with 34% of the vote, there's Le Pen's and Bardella's National Rally, plus their allies, who stand for nationalist and anti-immigration policies, prioritizing French sovereignty over EU integration, advocating for strict law and order measures, and economic protectionism to support French businesses. In terms of percentages, Le Pen and Bardella's National Rally won the first round of the elections. However, it is not that simple. So far, only a handful of constituencies have been decided. At the time of recording, 38 seats have been secured for the National Rally and its allies. 32 seats have been secured for the NFP, and only 2 seats have been secured for Macron's party. The Republicans secured 1 seat, with 3 seats going elsewhere. This means that a staggering 87% of total available seats are still up for grabs this Sunday, when we enter the second round. In other words, for 501 seats, no single party secured 50%, and we are going into a runoff. We will definitely create a video on this, so make sure you subscribe. So it might look like Le Pen and Bardella's National Rally are on the path to a parliamentary majority, but this is definitely not set in stone yet. They are indeed in their strongest position ever, but several factors could influence the final outcome. In the 2-round system of French elections, the cordon sanitaire often comes into play in the second round. For example, if a far-right candidate makes it to the runoff plus 2 other candidates, mainstream parties may withdraw their candidates to endorse each other, to consolidate votes against the far-right candidate. And this is already happening, with both Macron's and Mélenchon's parties saying they would remove their candidate if they are in 3rd place in a constituency where the far-right is currently 1st. Additionally, strategic voting plays a significant role. Voters from different political backgrounds may be encouraged to vote for a less preferred mainstream candidate to block the far-right candidate. For example, a more left-wing voter might support a more center-right candidate in the second round if the alternative is a far-right victory. So what will happen? We see 2 scenarios. Firstly, come Sunday, the National Rally secures at least 289 seats, achieving an absolute majority in the National Assembly. In this case, Jordan Bardella would become the Prime Minister. This scenario would result in cohabitation, where the President and the Prime Minister come from different political parties. cohabitation can lead to political tension and policy gridlock, as the executive and the legislative branches may have conflicting agendas. Second, come Sunday, no French party secures an absolute majority. Even if the National Rally wins the most seats, the National Rally's candidate for Prime Minister, Jordan Bardella, has already stated that he won't be Prime Minister without an absolute majority. This would mean two options, scenario 2A and 2B if you will. Macron's Renaissance Party may be able to form an anti-far-right bloc together with the NFP, or part of the NFP, or the Republicans. Or, no ruling coalition is formed, meaning that France could face a governmental deadlock. This is an unprecedented situation and would complicate the implementation of major reforms for at least a year, as new legislative elections cannot be called to resolve the impasse until then. French viewers and others, we would love to hear from you, so let us know in the comments what you think. Thank you for our contributors and thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. And stay tuned for more videos like this. Until next time.